welcome to today's webinar on SAP Predictive Analytics. My name is Aleksandra Borucka. I am the moderator of today's webinar. By my side, your expert and the one who will guide you through our webinar today, Mirosława Żurek. Before we start, I want to give you some information. We have about 60 minutes for the webinar. The webinar recording will be sent to you after the webinar by email. If you have any questions during the webinar, you can ask them in the navigation window on the right. The answers will be sent to you after the webinar via email in the next few days. So I start with the idea of SNP in a nutshell. And as I said, Mirosława will guide you through the main part of the webinar. Basically, we call ourselves the transformation company, which means our core business is the transformation of SAP-centric IT environments. We distinguish here ones from economic reasons, which can lead to changes in IT landscapes, and on the other hand, also IT-driven or technical causes, which can play a role here. In other words, these may be mergers, acquisitions, sales, spin-offs, general restructuring within the companies, or looking at the technical point of view, consolidations, harmonizations, as for HANA as a database. Let's have a quick look at the world map. We are originally from Germany. Our headquarters are located in Heidelberg. We have grown a lot in recent years. We have now over 1,400 employees all over the world. This is a big advantage for us because we can directly serve our customers over several time zones. For example, today's webinar we are running from Poland. Okay, then just a quick look at our SNP transformation portfolio. We have here a new tool which I would like to introduce to you briefly, a so-called Crystal Bridge. Crystal Bridge lies above the migration and the technical transformation and prepares you for upcoming projects that you are planning. Crystal Bridge also helps you to make and simulate important decisions, how to implement a particular project and how to transform the system. Crystal Bridge graphs your SAP ERP environment, speeds up your business transformation, and of course minimizes costs and risks for you. You get easy to understand, intelligent and interactive recommendations, so you do not get long technical reports. It simply gives you a deeper understanding of your ERP landscape and changes your approach, for example, for mergers and acquisitions or upgrade projects. Here is a short list of our certifications and standards. I don't want to read out everything here. You can see that we are certified and also partnered in many ways, and our software approach is also certified, so we can take a closer look at it when you want to later. That's it to the SNP and from my side. Now I would like to hand over to Mirka and hope you enjoy the further webinar.
Welcome. So I want to give you a short introduction to SAP Predictive Analytics. So first I want to describe shortly what is predictive and do you need predictive analysis in your company. Then I will talk a little bit about SAP Predictive Analytics. I will describe operating modes, automatic and expert, advanced options, which are available on this tool. Also, we will talk about a little bit about data sources that you can use to analyze the data in SAP Predictive Analytics and how you can publish, share with your results. Then I will talk about deployment methods. But the main part of this webinar will be a live demo on which I will present it two operating modes, automatic and expert, how to work with and what are the possibilities in them. So what is the difference between analytics and predictive analytics? First, most companies use only analytics in their organization. It means that they only analyze historic data without forecast the future events. The predictive analytics is the one which enable you to forecast future events and which is still quite important. Why it's important to predict future events? Because most companies that use predictive analytics for SaaS campaigns are almost twice as effective as companies that use traditional marketing methods. So what the term predictive analytics includes? It includes statistics, data mining, operation research. So from statistic, we have descriptive statistics, probability, estimation, cluster analysis, multivariate analysis, time series analysis, and much more. From data mining, we have elements like neural networks, decision trees, link analysis, associations rules, and in example, genetic algorithms. And from operation research, predictive analytics should use forecasting, non-linear programming, linear programming, critical path analysis, or simulation and Monte Carlo analysis. So, can predictive analysis can be useful only in retail and marketing? No, of course no. In retail, you can use predictive analytics to price optimization, inventory control, or promotion planning. But you can use predictive analytics in many cases, in many segments or industry. For example, in utilities to load demand modeling, consumption forecasting, asset management, in banking for customer segmentation, target marketing, risk management, in insurance to claims analysis, customer segmentation, in manufacturing to predictive maintenance, process control, production optimization. But you can use predictive analytics also in medical section, in example, to predict the causes and spread of the disasters. In public sector, for example, also to analysis, to crime and threat analysis. In companies, we usually have three types of analysis users. It means data scientists, data analysts, and business users. And SAP solution, SAP Predictive Analytics, is a good solution to all of three types, mentioned three types of users. Business users usually have no or very low level of analytics skill. So they usually want to work with embedded analytics. So the section SAP Automated Analytics, which is available in SAP Predictive Analytics tool, is dedicated to them. And on the other hand, we have business analysts and data scientists. And data scientists in companies are not very huge group, and they need usually custom analytics, some advanced model, and they can use for this sub-expert analytics, which enables you to work with R script also. So you can build your own model. So what's special about SAP Predictive Analytics? Of course, SAP Predictive Analytics is the only tool of this class for predictive, which is fully integrated with SAP programs. It means SAP HANA, SAP Business Warehouse, SAP business objects, or more. It also have multi-language support. It is quite easy of use because many functionality is available by drag and drop function. It's easy to sharing the data, the analyze, and it has advanced visualization. It has also rich pre-built modeling functionality, I mean automatic data preparation, some algorithms like classification, regression, anomaly detection, and the other. And it also has R data mining language support, which means that you also that you can use 12 R algorithms which are already included in the export mode, or you can use more than 5,000 R model package and algorithm which is available, and you can also write your own R script. When you use SAP HANA, you have also access to predict library, PAL library, which contain many C++ algorithms and which is dedicated to work with huge data. As I said before, we have two operation modes. One is SAP Automated Analytics and the second one is SAP Expert. In SAP Automated Analytics, you can classificate your customers. You can do some regression analysis, time series analysis. You can find association rules, or you can make clustering. In the expert analytics, you have the same algorithms implemented, also neural networks, outliers, but you can also use the R script, already existed R script, or you can write your own, or you can use R script which are available in the network. But how to check if the model we estimated in this tool is good and we can predict, forecast future events based on him. We have two main measures in automated mode. It's predictive power and prediction confidence. The predictive power is measure specific to SAP. It measures the capacity of the input variables to explain the targets, and it ranges from 0 to 1. The second measure, prediction confidence, measures the ability of a model to display the same level of performance on new data set, and this value of this measure should be greater than 0.95. If it's low, lower, the model is not good enough to forecast and predict based on it. What data sources you can use in your data analysis in predictive analytics, SAP Predictive Analytics tool? You can use files. You can get data from Microsoft Excel, or you can get data from text files. You can also get data from SAP Business Warehouse, Business Object Universes, or using SQL from relational databases. You can also get data from SAP HANA database, and you have two options here. You can download the data, or you can connect with SAP HANA directly. All data sources are available in all types in deployments. You can publish your results of your analysis in files, text files, Excel, PDF. You can also publish the report in Platform BI directly from the tool in SAP HANA, SAP Analytics Cloud, SAP Lumira Server, or SAP Streamwork. And how to automate the process? Because if we have estimate the model, we want to use in the future this model to forecast the future, to implement this model to new cases, and how to do it automatic way. We can use two tools. First is Data Manager and second is Predictive Factory. Data Manager is available in desktop version of SAP Predictive Analytics also, and it enables you to create dynamic data sets that you can move through time, actually improves productivity when developing models and applying models in different time frames. The second tool, Predictive Factory, is only available if you have a client-server implementation, and it can be used to automate the management of predictive models created in SAP Predictive Analytics, to import classification, regression, clustering, and time series model creating using modeler in SAP Predictive Analytics. It can be used to automate tasks to retrain and apply models, test model deviation, to do forecasting and run external commands. And it can be used also to monitor the performance of your models over time. So what are the deployment scenarios of predictive analytics? We have 4 possibilities. First is the desktop version. And the desktop version is the only one version which contains 2 operation modes. I mean automatic mode and export mode. All the other solution are based on client server, and they contain only automated analysis. So for example, if you implement client server predictive analytics, predictive analytics, you have to access only to automated analysis. If you want to also use expert analytics, you should install desktop version also. The next option is client server without using HANA database. Then we have predictive analytics for HANA base, and the last option is implement predictive analytics for use with SAP HANA in cloud. It's HANA Enterprise Cloud or HANA Cloud Platform. If you use predictive analytics on HANA, or automatic algorithms are calculated in SAP HANA directly, and all our script are also calculated in SAP HANA directly. So it should improve your model performance. So after the short introduction to SAP Predictive Analytics, I would like to present how to work with this automated and expert version, and I would like to go to live demo. So I will start with automated mode of SAP Predictive Analytics, and before we start, please imagine that you are the owner of internet shop, and what you want to do is to make some segmentation clusters of your customers. You have some data about your customers. So you know what is the gender of the customers, the country, the nationality country, the nationality, what is the occupation, education level, and so on. You also know how many money they have spent in your shop already. So to do that, you want to make a clusters of your customers, segmentation of your customers, because you want to send them an offer which should be dedicated especially for them. So it's for marketing reason. So first, I would like to show, for example, how to work with clustering model. So in SAP Predictive Analytics, I will choose create a clustering model. First, I will work in this case with data from text files. Yes, as I said, the data will contain some information about my customers. Now click next. Yeah. Okay. As I said before, the data contains some information about customers' age, education level, occupation, marital status, gender, and also the data, I have information how many money they already spent in my shop. I can also view the data here, yeah, to see how it looks like. And I will click next. In next step, I can choose what will be my target variables and what will be excluded for analysis. It's a segmentation clustering algorithm, so it's not necessary to use target variables. But without target variables, I will be not able to calculate predictive power or predictive confidence. So it's quite important to use some variables as a target. And my target is it's target spend, which means how many money these customers have left in my shop. And exclude variables, I will choose this one. It's quite important that you shouldn't analyze too many variables, yes, because if you have too many variables, you will not be able to interpret the model. So I click, if I choose target variables and excluded variables, I click next. In the next screen, I can choose how many clusters I want to define. I will choose between 5 and 8. And how many clusters you choose, it depends on you, on your business marketing politic, how many special promotion, how many types of promotion you're ready to prepare. And I will also uncheck calculate SQL expressions, which means that the code SQL will be not prepared, but it's not necessary in our case. Okay, so generate. The tool will generate four model because first model will be for 5 clusters, second for 2 clusters, and for 6 clusters, and so on. And the model also will choose the best model, And okay. And as you can see on the bottom of the screen, the winner is engine 3, which means that the model with 8 clusters. And why this model is the winner? Because the sum of predictive power and predictive confidence is the best, the highest. Okay. So the best model is 8 clusters. In the end, I will click next, okay, and then I want to display some characteristic of my cluster, so I click cluster profiles, and for example, I can see that most customers belongs to cluster 3 and cluster 6. I can also see, for example, that in cluster 1 I have classified customers on age between 17 and 27. The red color is about all population, and the blue color is about clusters. So as you can see, the blue color I have only in this 4 part of the categories, and it's from 17 to 27. For example, in cluster 3, I have classified customers in age between 42 to 90 or even more. And for example, in cluster 6, from age 31 to 47. Of course, we can analyze another variables, not only age, but also marital status. Yes, so you can see that no one in cluster 6 is never married. I can also analyze education, for example, in all clusters, and gender. Yeah. Okay. So next I would like to know what are the most important variables in all clusters. So I will click statistical reports, and in statistical reports I have something called cluster decays. And I will click compare all clusters CALES. What is CALES? KL is the measure which measure the difference of variable distribution in the population and the clusters. So as we can see in example, in cluster 1, distribution of age is the one which is the most different from the distribution in the whole population. In example, in cluster 2, the most interesting variables is native country. In cluster 4, relationships. Yes, so this is the characteristic which has the main impact to input customer to this cluster. Okay, and I can also show the cluster bubble charts, and you can see here all the clusters. If the shape is bigger, that means that the cluster have more customers classified. I can change the axis, so I will switch this axis to, for example, age. Yeah. And I can say what I also should screen on screen before in compare all cluster colors. That, for example, in cluster 3, I have most people older than 45 years old, and they have spent less than 40,000 euro in my shop. And also, for example, I can see that in cluster 8, I have customers on age, cluster 1. I have customers below age 26, 27, and they have spent in my shop the most money. Okay. But what can I do with this model? I can use this model, this segment, these clusters, to classify new customers. So, for example, after a registration, a new customer, in my shop, I have data of new customers, and I want to know on which sector, on which cluster the new customer will be assigned. So I will use some data for this also, a new data set without target spend, because there are new customers, so I don't know how many money they have spent, because they don't spend money at all in my shop yet. Okay. Okay. So I will choose the file. I will choose that I want to have predicted value only. So I want to know, as I said, on which cluster the new customers will be classified. And I will click apply. And view output. And now I know that, for example, first customer is classified to cluster 5, second to cluster 4, third to cluster 1, and so on. So I can send to these customers dedicated offered, promotion offered, marketing offered also. Yeah. So this is about automated mode. I think it's quite easy to use. And I will go now to explain how to work with expert mode. So in expert mode, it looks, we will connect with Business Warehouse, our local system. And what we like to do is to forecast our sales revenue for the next 12 months based on historical data. And we use for this time series analysis. Okay, so first I have to get the data. Yeah, as you can see, we have possibility to get to data from Microsoft Excel, text files, SAP HANA, Business Warehouse, Business Object Universes, or another relational data sources, database. And I will use the connection I have prepared before. Okay, I will log to our Business Warehouse. If you log to Business Warehouse, you can see all the queries in info area sections that are created that in your business warehouse, I will use the query that I used before. That's why I can see it on the first screen. Yeah. If I click next, I can see what measures and what dimensions are defined on this query, and I will choose only one measure. It's a sales, and I will choose only one dimension, cal, year, month. Yes, because I want to make the forecasting only based on trend analyze. Okay, so I will click create. In next steps, you can see 5 parts: prepare, predict, visualize, compose, and share. In first step, I go to prepare. In prepare section, you can prepare your data. What does it mean? For example, for measures, you can create calculate measure. You have some functions available here. For dimension, you can create measure based on this dimension. You can change the name. You can merge the column. For example, if you will have more than one dimension, and so other option. You can also filter the data. Yeah. You can also, with the dimension, convert values from from lower to upper. You can replace some values with another, and so on option to prepare the data. I'm not going to change any option here. I will go directly to predict section. And in predict section, you can use some algorithm, and it's not only algorithms for model, but also you can use here functions for write the data in cells for example, text file. You can also use the function to filter the data, to calculate some formula, to normalization the data, to partition the data, and so on. And you can, of course, use some algorithm which will calculate the model itself. I will use, as I said, time series analysis, and for that I will use algorithm which called triple exponential smoothing. Yeah. In one model, in one implementation, I can use many of these algorithm data preparations, not only one, okay, so I have to configure the settings of this triple exponential smoothing. So I will choose configure settings. Yeah. And as I said, I want to make some forecast. So I choose forecast. I want to make some forecast of sales values for the next 12 months. So I choose 12. My target variables is, of course, sales. Period is a month because I have monthly data based on monthly data. Start period is January, and start year in my data set is 2009. And then I can choose the name of predicted column, and I leave it like it is, and then. After configure the setting, it doesn't mean configure the setting doesn't mean that the model is already calculated. To calculate the model, I have to click this green button. Yeah. And after that, the results will be shown, and I can see that I have sales, my base column, and I also have predicted values, which was calculated based on this triple exponential smoothing. And as you can see, predicted values are the values which are forecasting also for the next 12 months. Okay. In the section summary, you can see if the model is good or not good enough. And in trend chart, you can see how it looks like to compare how the predicted values look like in compare with the original data. As you can see, in the last few periods, few months, the sales, the original data sales and predicted values were quite similar. Okay, so in next steps, I am able to visualize the data, and for this I will choose time series, analysis 1, and triple exponential smoothing. And here we see in measure section sales, and in dimension calendar year, month, year, and predicted values. We want to show predicted values as a measure, so I will click here, and I will select the option create a measure. Okay, so now I am able to use predicted values as a measure also in my chart. Okay, I want to create chart similar to the one we have already seen, so I will choose chart line chart combined with columns. Yeah, and my in x-axis I will choose calendar year month, and as a measures I will create I will choose sales and predicted values. Yeah. We can also exclude some values from our chart, for example this one. Yes. Okay. And we can also add more charts in our visualization section by clicking this plus icon. The next steps is to compose. And what we are able to compose in Predictive Analytics tool is infographic, board, or draft board. I will choose board. And I will choose blank because I don't need any ready template. And then I have to choose what I want to use. Yeah. Okay, everything's fine. And as you can see on the left side, I am able to choose the chart that I have created on visualize section. I will add it to my report. And not only charts you can add in this section, you can also some text text, some pictures, some input controls also for characteristics, for dimensions. Okay, so if we are ready, and this is our ready board that we want to share with others, we can click Share section, and as you can see, we can share our story with on published SAP Lumira server, SAP Streamwork. We can also publish to Explorer, SAP HANA, or export to file, and we can also save as file on BI platform if we are connected to BI platform. So, okay, for my side it's all, I guess.
Thank you very much. If you will have any questions after we finished, you can send them also via email. And that's all from our side today, and see you on other webinars. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye. Thank you.